Okay. Hello.
Hello. So,
Hang on.
I'm speaking. Do you mind?
All right, you speak then.
We've just finished watching Artemis Fowl film on Disney Plus.
We have.
It didn't get very good reviews, and Chloe's a big fan of the books. So, Chloe, tell us what you thought of the film, and just let it all out, love. Let it all out.
I thought it was an abomination.
Look at the screen.
I thought it was an abomination.
Why is that?
Where to start?
Just list a few reasons.
I don't know where to start. Okay, well, I'll start with the things that I knew before I watched it.
Okay.
Which I knew were going to annoy me. Julius Root. Oh, if you haven't read the books or seen the films, I'm going to be spoiling both of them. So don't watch this video if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay. So I knew before seeing the film that Julius Root was played by Judi Dench. And that in the books, Julius Root is a man. And to change Julius Root into a woman is to take away Holly Short's whole character arc, because part of her character is that she wants to be the first ever female commander of the Leprechaun unit.
Terrible.
I know you don't like that pun. Let's just put that to one side. But she wants to be the first female commander of that unit. So if Commander Root is a woman, none of that works because she can't be the first female commander. Does your neck hurt? Is that why you're not looking at me?
No. Do you want me to look at you?
I don't mind. Well, I don't. It's just a bit weird you're looking at the telly.
Carry on.
I'll just do whatever you want.
I was then.
Why are you not? Yeah, but it's just the Artemis Fowl cover.
We get on with it.
All right. And then the second thing that I knew would annoy me is that Butler is played by someone who's black. And that shouldn't matter in almost any other character. You could have them being played by a black actor. But the point of Butler is that butlers are called butlers because of the Butler family. And they've been butlers for generations, like hundreds of years. And as you pointed out, well, butlers can be black. But as I pointed out, hundreds of years ago, they wouldn't be called butlers. They'd be called slaves. Like, wouldn't they?
I think there's other things you can complain about then.
No, but I'm talking about the things that annoyed me before I went into it.
Okay.
I mean, you say it like it's not important, but it is important.
It's important to you.
It's important to the books.
Okay.
Because there's a long history of butlers. And the butlers just wouldn't have been black for that many generations, in my opinion. And also, they're Eastern European, and in the film, they've turned it into his niece instead of his sister, and she's 12 instead of like 18 or whatever she is in the books. But that's to do with the film. So they were the things that I knew would annoy me. But then, so me and Ian always have the subtitles on films. And so after like 2 minutes, the subtitles came up with Domovoy says something. And I immediately was just like, well, why do we know what Butler's first name is? Mm-hmm. The whole thing about Butler is that no one knows what his first name is. Everyone just calls him Butler. And it's true. No one calls him the Butler. But no one calls him Dom. Like, no one calls him Domovoy. No one calls him Dom. And it's Artemis Fowl is calling him Dom the whole way through.
And when do we find out his real first name?
Well, this will spoil it for the books.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. In the books, this is important for this reason. In the books, I can't remember like where it happens in the book, but there's a point where Butler dies.
Spoiler.
And he tells Artemis Fowl what his first name is because he's going to die, and no one knows his first name. And he tells Artemis his first name. And then later on, when they both lose their memories because of reasons that I don't want to spoil everything. Well, no, as in, like,
Yeah.
Holly wipes their memories.
Spoiler.
Well, exactly. Holly wipes their memories for very good reasons. And then Artemis convinces Butler that he knows who he is because he says, I know what your first name is. It's Domovoi. Whereas that wouldn't work in this universe because they all call him Domovoi. So there's that. What else? Oh, Mulch Diggums. He's a dwarf. Why? What? I know it's been...
We're looking at the camera, not me.
Why?
I've heard you rant already over the past hour and 36 minutes.
It took longer than that because I kept having to pause it. Mulch Diggums is a dwarf. That's literally his race. And in the film, he's played by an average-sized human man. In fact, some would say a bigger than average-sized human man. I would say. Not that dwarves aren't human, but you know what I mean.
They don't exist, love.
No, people are dwarves in real life.
I thought you were talking about the dwarves in the fiction. Carry on, love.
Well, yes, but in this film,
yes,
the fictional dwarves are played by people who are dwarves.
Yes, yeah.
Apart from the dwarf who is who's the big character, and he's played by someone who is not a dwarf. He's played by Josh Gad, who, side point, I asked Ian where we'd seen him before, and he said, in Frozen. That's an animated film.
The voice of the snowman.
He's the voice of the snowman in Frozen. Oh, yeah, that's where I recognise him from.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, the point is, like, he's playing...
Little Monsters. Josh Gad is in the zombie film Little Monsters.
I've not seen that either, though.
I think you'd like it. It's good. If you haven't seen it, it's a good one.
But, yeah, you literally said he's in that zombie film that you haven't seen yet.
Carry on.
Anyway, so Mulch Diggums is played by a man who is not a dwarf. And throughout the film, they keep making allusions to the fact that he's a bigger dwarf than a normal dwarf. Just have him played by a dwarf.
Beard.
He's got a beard. I'm sure he doesn't have a beard. I'm starting to doubt myself because there's so many things in the film that wouldn't fit with the book. But he's got a beard. He just looks like Hagrid. Like,
He does look like Hagrid.
he looks exactly like Hagrid.
What did I say as soon as he appeared on
You
screen?
said, is that Hagrid?
I did, yeah.
And I was like, no, I think that's going to be Mulch Diggums, but he's not a dwarf. And then they keep... And then, spoilers for the film, he goes up to Julius Root. I don't know if she's even called Julius, anyway. And he says, oh, can you make me big like the other dwarfs? Well, that's not in the books either. Like,
He must be smaller like
sorry, yeah, he must be small like the other dwarfs because he's big. Where's that come from? That's just come from nowhere.
Oh, there's a new cat in the garden.
Oh my God. Mandy.
Yeah.
Mulch Diggums.
Is it all about... Oh, yeah, Mulch.
Mulch. Yeah, Mulch Diggums, who's brilliant at stealing and really stealthy because he's small and a dwarf and can burrow into people's houses without anyone noticing. They show him burrowing into the house and you see him like, you know, like in a cartoon where you see a mole going and you see the ground coming up and there's like fart clouds coming out. And then he comes out, he burrows into the mansion and comes out in the middle of a painting on the wall. Like, how could you burrow out of a wall? So that's Mulch Diggums. And these parents are coming next.
Okay, I look forward to it.
I wanted to say, I think Foley was perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Because that is exactly... Well, no, I'm not asking you.
Okay.
It's exactly how I pictured him when I'm reading the books. But the biggest problem I've got with Artemis Fowl is that in the books, in the first book, his dad is missing, and his dad being missing has caused his mother to lose her mind because his dad's missing. So he's being brought up in foul manner by his mother, who's mentally ill, and he's got younger twin brothers who he's also having to look after.
Who are in the book?
They're in the film. They're not in the film. Well, neither's the mum. The mum's dead in the film. Sorry, spoilers for the first 10 minutes of Artemis Fowl. She's dead. Like, why is she dead? And Colin Firth, who plays the dad, he's just there. He's just... Oh, yeah, Colin Farrell. I always get them mixed up. He's just there, just like merrily, oh, Artemis, here, look at this book I've got about fairies. I'll teach you all about fairies, because for some reason in this universe, I know all about fairies, even though I don't. And Butler doesn't either. In the books, Artemis Fowl does all the legwork. He translates the book. He works out the plan. He tells Butler all about it. Butler's a bit like, I'm not sure about this, sir. And he gets Juliet involved. In the film, spoilers again, it's Butler who says, here's the big secret of your father's, and takes him into this bunker. And there's all this stuff. And he says, oh, this is all your dad's stuff. And his dad's been doing shit for years to do with the fairies, which is bullshit. That's not what happens. Artemis does it all himself. So the point is, the protagonist in Artemis Fowl, in the books, he's an 11-year-old boy whose father's missing and whose mum is mentally ill. And he's
11 or 12.
11 or 12. That age. He's not a teenager is the point. He's having to cope with it all by himself. He works out how to get out of it. And the reason why it's important that his mum is alive and that his dad is missing is that is his, what's the word I'm looking for? The reason for doing it.
Raison d'etre.
No, that's wanky. I don't mean that. It's his, like, the impetus for doing it. Is that a word?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
It's his whole reason for wanting to kidnap the fairy.
His reason for doing something.
Raison d'etre, then. Yeah.
Yeah.
His whole reason for doing it is to get money to fund finding his dad, and he gets Holly to cure his mother because she's gone he wants his mother to be well. Like, the characterisation of Artemis Fowl is just so weird in this. He would not skateboard and surf. He just wouldn't. He's really clumsy and can't do anything in the books.
Artemis don't surf.
Oh,
There's one for the fans out there.
for anyone
If you know that film reference, let Chloe know.
Yeah, please do, because Ian's always saying it and then, like, making out like I'm an idiot for not knowing what it is.
There you go.
And I don't think it's that obvious. Yes, but the whole point of that is his whole character. He's clumsy. He's not cool in any way. He's a bit of an idiot. Like, he's not an idiot. Sorry, he's clever, but he's not cool. Not cool at all. And then, like, the whole thing with Opal. Why did they even have Opal? Also, what is what was it called?
Yeah, the
MacGuffin. They just
the secret acorn weapon.
Aculus?
Areola.
It's not that. It was not that.
Okay.
But in the books, the MacGuffin is his dad.
Yeah.
And in this, they made a MacGuffin that, spoilers, turns up in the Fowl Mansion anyway, in the Fowl Manor anyway. Mulch finds it in a safe. Oh, and the troll almost kills Butler. Like, throughout the books, he's the one person who's ever been able to take down a troll. Not in the film, he nearly dies.
Take down a troll without getting injured, I believe.
I think so. Again, I'm second guessing myself, but from what I remember, and I have read the first book more than the rest. I've read the first book about 5 times. I've read the rest a bit. Once. Definitely once for all of them. Twice, I think, for most of them. So yeah, it's.
So what would you give it out of 10, Chloe?
4.
They're pretty terrible. Kenneth Branagh should be ashamed. And what was Owen Colfer doing on this travesty?
I honestly don't know. I'd like to know what Owen Colfer thinks of it.
I'll tell you what, the bit that got me, right at the end where he's talking to Opal and he says, well, I'm Artemis Fowl, I'm a criminal mastermind. What, in the film showed that he was a criminal mastermind?
Well, he's not. He didn't do anything. He doesn't refer to himself as a criminal mastermind in the books, though, I don't think. Like, he does stuff, but...
Overall, a terrible film.
I mean, as a standalone film, without reading the books, it's terrible.
looking forward to the sequel, aren't we, love?
Oh God, it was so set up for a sequel. They all, spoilers, they all get in a helicopter and go, right, we've got unfinished business. It's like, it's just so obvious that they want to do a sequel. No one's going to want that. I'm sure there were other things about it.
Right.
But I've been talking for 15 minutes.
We'll go and rewatch it then.
And the main reason why I had to record it was for Big Rob, wasn't it?
If you've got this far, Big Rob.
Why would you not get this far? If he's interested in the books.
Oh, yes,
so.
fan of the books, yeah.
I do want to know what Owen Colfer thinks. I'd like to know. I mean, it says there, based on the beloved book by Owen Colfer.
Not a beloved film, eh?
There was just so much about it that was just really bad.
Oh, you're speechless.
I mean, I haven't been as angry as I was earlier.
She was very angry.
Because even you said I didn't think
Very
you
angry.
didn't think I was going to get as angry as that.
When you hid your face under your top. That was good.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was sitting there with my hands like this.
Fist clenched.
I was literally with my fist clenched like this.
Anyway. That's it. Hope you enjoyed our
Merry
review.
X-June, everyone!
Woo! Don't forget your giblets.
Oh yeah, don't forget to put out your giblets. I might not get this uploaded in time to remind people about giblets.
Okay.
But yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. Notice my hair growing back up with my weird crown. Can we get my weird crown on video? Look at it, it's so odd. Look at that. You love my weird crown, don't you? Right. Let me know in the comments.
Comments below.
What are you saying?
Subscribe.
And click that
Ring
bell.
the bell.
Smash that like button.
Notification squid. And others.
Wow. There's a reference for you. See ya.